Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, the injury bug strikes in Mesa. We'll dig into the impact for the Cubs, plus PCA vibes, and the Cubs lineup gets some love. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast, and we are closing in, 8 days until we hit the desert?
5 shows.
Woo! We're getting close, our spring training trip. We're going to tell you all about it in a second. We've got a Die Hard deal going on. We're going to tell you about it as well.
My shady
That's all right. They can stay on. The vibes are high.
Very high.
And we're also going to dig into this injury bug story that hit the Cubs today. But first, that trip, because we are getting excited. I got to find my Shady Rays because this trip is presented by our friends at Shady Rays.
This deal is so bright.
Oh,
God. 5 shows away.
Woo!
Show it to me.
March 5th to 8th. That's it. Thursday, we're heading out to the desert for our CHGO road trip spring training presented by our friends at Shady Rays. It's polarized, so I can still see my computer screen beautifully. And we are going to need these polarized shades because the desert sky is bright. And we will be there for 3 Cactus League games for the Cubs, maybe 1 Cactus League game for the Sox, Sean Anderson.
On Friday, I think.
We've got a golf outing set up at Dobson Ranch Golf Course in Scottsdale, where we will golf with the diehards and also golf with some of the other all-city networks.
And golf with integrity, too, as well, as we said yesterday on the
Always
show.
with integrity. I take as many mulligans as I want. Okay? And we will dine. We will dine out there in the desert. I'm ready for it. All of it's a la carte. So if you want to just go to 2 Cactus League games.
Do it.
And then you want to come to, what is it, Poor Decisions?
We're going to Poor Decisions. Great name for a bar on Friday.
On Friday night.
Meet and greet. Maybe do a little Q&A. We're going to talk some Cubs, answer your questions. Maybe you talking to the microphone. Who knows? Let's get weird.
Oh, people come up and talk on the microphone. We're going to have a lot of fun. You can join us there, and there's going to be some deals, and I heard there might be some giveaways there. A lot of fun.
Maybe
By
some
the
merch.
way, speaking of deals right now, the Die Hard deal is still going on. It is the NFL CHGO Bears Podcast Combine deal, $36 for that first year, the Die Hard membership. It comes with a free T-shirt, whatever shirt you want. Look, check out the new Iceman one we got. Oh,
I own that.
they're getting excited about that. What are the Bears going to draft? You can always check out the Bears podcast for that. But again, the Die Hard deal comes with the shirt. It also comes with all the discounts, which is important for the trip. And it also comes with the Die Hard card. Instant credibility, whether you're in the airport or at Poor Decisions or at the ballpark. Level up your game. Okay? So there it is. We'll talk about the trip again, but we are getting excited. Even though it's freezing here, I saw it's going to be like 90 and sunny the next couple days in Arizona.
Don't tease me. Let's just go. Let's just go right now.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. We deserve it.
Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find your locations closest to you. It's time for our Game Day Men's Health Difference Maker, okay? And what is the difference maker right now from Game Day Men's Health? Literally health.
Yes.
Health is the difference maker, and that's what we've said. The number one goal of any spring training for any team, including your Chicago Cubs, stay healthy.
Yeah, what's the phrase from the parlance of our times? Reality bites?
Yes.
This is a little bit of it, right? And
it's not the worst.
No, and as we've been applauding and harping on in the offseason, I do believe Jed Hoyer's done a great job of insulating for these types of situations.
Yeah.
So I know we're going to get into, let's just start maybe with Jordan Wicks first, right? Because he might be the one that hopefully is a guy that will be able to return in spring training and a guy that I think some people were hoping could be a contributor this year. The good news is, obviously, Jordan Wicks isn't pegged to be a fifth starter or even a sixth starter,
depth.
Seventh starter. Not even really a bullpen guy right now, but definitely a depth piece and a guy that was working on his curveball all off season, hoping to get the velocity back up a little bit, has been shut down per Craig Counsell with left forearm inflammation, no UCL damage, and as Craig Counsell says, hopefully it's days and not weeks, Luke. So that's the first one to go.
Well, we've talked about it all offseason about the depth of the starting rotation and how it became the biggest problem the Cubs had at the end of the season and in the postseason. So here's a guy, Jordan Wicks, that they were hesitant to go to and didn't want to go to at the end of the season. When there were opportunities last year for starts, they didn't go to Jordan Wicks. And he was a little upset about it. By the way, he talked to Megan Montemurro of the Tribune, and he was saying that, like, some of the quotes were, hey, the organization and I don't always see eye to eye, and sometimes that's tough to handle. And he was talking specifically about spring training last year where he thought he was a starter, and all of a sudden they were talking bullpen, and he wasn't never been in the bullpen, and he wasn't ready for that. He called it a miscommunication, says they're on a better standing right now. He feels better about it, and he's willing to help the team in whatever form or fashion they need him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be in the bullpen. I don't know if that's going to be as a starter. But I'm not saying he's a frontline starter, but he's a nice guy to have in your pocket, just like adding Colin Ray was nice. Jordan Wicks is a nice guy to have available to come make a start if you need him to make a start. He wouldn't be a bad guy to have come pitch 4 innings every once in a while either. So this is not a massive injury. The only hesitation I have on it is he's had a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of injuries, and that's been one of his biggest problems, a former first-round pick.
Yeah, and while we're talking pitching, Rontoulet, however you want to say it, thanks for coming in the chat, man. Good to see you. We don't see you very often, so if it's your first time, thanks for coming in, and hope you stick around all season. 13 pitchers make it. Your thoughts on who I like for starter, 6-man rotation could work. Drop in the comments. Who do you like? Because as it stands right now, Luke, I mean, Jordan Wicks is going to be behind in terms of trying to make the opening day. And when he talks about that miscommunication, I can't help but also go back to some of the comments that Matt Shaw made when they first started talking to him about switching to the outfield, of the communication of just let me know what I'm doing and where I stand. And here's what I will say. The Cubs can communicate all that they want to. The player in their internal constitution believes one way or the other, hey, I'm a starter.
Sure.
I'm an all-star.
They all think that.
So the Cubs could tell you that you're a bullpen guy. And I think with Jordan Wicks is maybe he's in a better place this year because he's been able to mature in the mentality of I need to be able to adapt, and I need to say to myself, I need to prepare to be a starter. I need to prepare to be a bullpen guy. I need to prepare to help the Chicago Cubs at the major league level get outs this season. So hopefully he can come back healthy, but it does feel like sometimes young players, the Cubs aren't just going to tell you right off the jump, we see this one particular role for you. You have to go out there and perform and earn it, just like we talk about with Ben Brown. So it is interesting that maybe his mentality has changed a little bit. And I root for Jordan Wicks, but again, when we try and start penciling in guys in this bullpen mix, this is a setback that isn't good for Jordan Wicks in that case.
It's like a batter that doesn't get any plate appearances for 4 weeks, and then they bring him up when he's needed in a key position. You're like, well, that's a tough spot. You know? It is a tough spot, but you're a professional and you're getting paid to do it. And I think he realizes that. It's what makes what Javier Assad has been able to do for the Cubs impressive. Mm-hmm. And it's what makes what Colin Ray did last year impressive.
Really impressive, yeah.
So there have been guys that have approached that role very successfully. I think you have 2 in Assad and Ray for sure. I think that Wicks could be one of those guys that's in a similar role. If opportunities are there, he might start in Iowa. He still has options left. He's under control for a long time. And so I hope the injury is not something that's going to completely stall his spring training and ramping up his throwing. Right now, the throwing has stopped, and they're going to wait and see. But the MRI stuff was good. Now, the other big difference maker is on the other side, and that's Tyler Austin, who is now out for months.
Plural.
Months.
Yeah. And
had a surgical procedure on his knee. This is a guy you were pretty high on going into the Cactus League play and just arriving at spring training.
I found him to be an intriguing player.
Right.
And I thought this was sometimes, especially as fans, when we talk about free agents and what the Cubs aren't going to do, trade targets, all this stuff, we all know the names and we canvass the major leagues. And sometimes, and honestly, we saw this with a couple of years ago with what the White Sox did with Eric Fetty. They identified a former major league player who had success in the KBO or the MPO. They brought him back over, and then he had success back at the major league level. So I was just intrigued by had the Cubs stumbled upon something and got a great deal. He didn't cost a lot of money to bring him back over. He's had a lot of success slugging overseas, and can he come over and be twice the production of what Justin Turner did on the field? Justin Turner off the field, the platitudes continue with the guys that are currently on the team, but hopefully Tyler Austin could have came in and played a little first base, played a little outfield, maybe pinch hit in the 7th inning, hit a bomb, went deep. Unfortunately, with this surgery, with this knee procedure, another guy that I get it, months, we'll see. I hope he can come back and be healthy, but the fact that it's happening now, Luke, unfortunately, you really start to question, can Tyler Austin even help the Cubs this year? And I don't think that they should bank on that. If he comes back healthy and he can perform, that's found money at this point. But yeah, disappointing for a guy that I thought was a sneaky underrated signing by the Cubs, but I don't know if that's going to come to fruition for them.
I've seen people on Twitter kind of going back and forth. Is this why they signed Conforto? Well, one's a lefty, one's a righty. I don't think so, but it certainly opens up a spot on the roster.
Yes, it does.
There's no question about that. He was clearly the guy that was going to be your main backup at first base for Michael Busch. Period. End of story. That was it. He was replacing Justin Turner, basically. And now that spot is open. And will somebody take advantage of that opportunity, or will they still continue to poke around and see if somebody falls off another roster, becomes available? I wouldn't put that past the Cubs either. I think they're still looking out there. Could it be a minor leaguer gets traded for a guy that's doesn't have options on another team? Those type of things can still continue to happen. Now, today's Cactus League game, B.J. Murray is playing first base.
Right.
Now, that's a guy at the minor leagues we've heard about.
He's hit the ball the first handful of games in spring, too. So
I don't know that they're ready to rely on that, but what if B.J. Murray got a lot of opportunities here because you've got the WBC going on and he gets at bats? What if he looks good in the spring?
Well, in that collision with
I never would have had him on the roster.
Yeah, that collision with Jonathan Long also opens up more at bats for him. The question that I have is when you're talking about who's going to back up Michael Busch at first base, I think in an ideal world, which the Cubs were planning on with Tyler Austin, you want that player to be right-handed.
Yes.
I've seen some people in the comments in the chats saying, does this mean Moises Ballesteros gets more run at first base? I think it's fine that he gets some run there, but I'm going to be honest with you. When you're trying to give Michael Busch better need a day off if Moises Ballesteros is playing first base. We're not doing matchup stuff, and we're taking Michael Busch out of the lineup to put Moises Ballesteros versus a lefty, also with a guy who clearly isn't as good at first base as Michael Busch. There are a couple names that are still out there, all of them veteran. Donovan Solano's the first one, a guy who was last year in 2024 had an OPS of 760, so nothing terrible, but last year at 37 years old, did not get a lot of playing time, cross between the Rangers and the Mariners, didn't really get it done. The other guy that's really interesting also is Wilmer Flores. Now, this is a guy who is a legit hitter. He hit 16 bombs and 71 RBIs last year. He's only 33 years old. He's not up the creek. He's not cooked, as we like to say here on the show.
Cooked.
He's a guy that can play. Now, the question with Wilmer Flores is he's adequate at first base. He can play multiple positions, which is interesting. All of them adequately, nothing above average. But is he a guy that's looking for more of an opportunity? Is he a guy that's going to say, yeah, I'll play the Justin Turner once every couple weeks, maybe at first base, and I'm a replacement here and there? Is he maybe looking for more of a major league opportunity? And then finally, door number 3 is, and I know some Cubs fans are going to hate this, what's Justin Turner doing right now?
Oh, man.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He's not going to cost $10 million. I don't think he's going to be productive. But if you're looking for a right-handed bat at first base for that type of situation, are you ready to dance one more time with Justin Turner? I know the players will welcome him back with open arms. It won't be like Dexter Fowler in 2016 when he just magically walks in the outfield and they're all like, yeah.
I almost would rather the Cubs look for.
I like your idea of a guy that gets squeezed out somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. Craig Brindle, how many O's you want to put in that no, my friend?
A lot. Hey, all right.
I'm not advocating. I'm throwing them out there.
Here's what we'll do. We'll take a break. We'll talk more about those options and the Cubs options currently in the organization. But first, a word from our sponsors on the CHGO Cubs podcast, the best Cubs podcast in the universe. Hey, Joey, what if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price?
But for how long?
Not one, not two, not three, not 4, 5 years. 5 whole years. That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. And imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home just kind of work together, finds and fixes problems before you even see them. And it's super intelligent Wi-Fi. It's got like a 6th sense. And it lets you stream the game while the rest of the family is watching something else online. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Ooh. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years, but not your Wi-Fi. Let's lock in that price. Unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. It's Wi-Fi you can count on, and the price can stay the same.
You know, Luke, you know what winter's like? It's like that deadbeat cousin or friend that moves into your place for just a weekend to get back on their feet, but then eats all your food in the fridge and then stays for months. And that's why you have to ask your question, when winter sticks around longer than you like, is your home's heating up for the challenge? And if you have a plumbing emergency, what do? You call Four Seasons. If you have an electrical emergency, you call Four Seasons. And if you need a new hot water tank installed today, you call Four Seasons, because now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. And anytime around the year, it is always that time. So thinking about a whole home generator, they've also got you covered, because at Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, sewer, and generator needs with no extra costs for nights or weekends. Right now, you can save up to $4,000 on furnaces. Furnaces also start at $39 a month, or furnace AC combos at $57 a month. So call today and save that $50 from your trusted local experts. It's Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for 50 years. So visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com today.
Welcome back to the CHGO Cubs podcast. We're talking about the Tyler Austin injury. We also mentioned Jordan Wicks' injury. And we're trying to figure out, well, who will be the backup at first base when Michael Busch is not available to play, or they just want to have somebody else in there from the right side maybe. Hopefully that's not going to be nearly as much this season. And so I posed while we were in the commercial break, I asked you, would you rather have Justin Turner come back or Trey Mancini be let go by the Angels so that he could have a run at it again?
I invoked Justin Turner's name on this show, and the chat went wild, and I also just got a text.
But they weren't expecting Trey Mancini to be following it up.
I know. I got a frequent text from diehard listener and supporter and good friend of mine, Dom Fortini, saying, it's Wild Thought Wednesday when Justin Turner is in the first block of the show. Look, I don't know if the Cubs need to necessarily do anything. And because I'm throwing out all these veteran names, and Trey Mancini's with the Angels right now, basically the halfway retirement home organization. I think your idea is interesting, though. Someone that performs moderately well, that gets squeezed out in spring training, doesn't make a team. We don't know who that is necessarily right now, but you just want to have somebody as some insurance in case something would. If Michael Busch had to miss a day or two. That's all you're looking for.
Who am I? Why can't I think of his name? The Sox guy that's on the Brewers that hit the 3-run home run. Vaughn. Why can't we find our Vaughn? Right? Like, why can't we find him? Why can't we find the next one of those?
Yeah, the diamond in the rough, or more like the diamond in the pile of doo-doo.
Yeah, I was going to say more like the poop in the toilet.
Maybe we should start doing more trades with the White Sox.
Yeah, right. It's like in Jurassic Park when she's sifting.
I got one. All right, so you're looking for a guy that can just
first
hit.
Baseman, maybe right-handed.
Right. Well, how about this? He could play first base, second base, third base, shortstop, all equally the same.
Paul Konerko can't play any of them.
It's Lenine Sosa. He just can't play any defensive position, but he hits homers.
He does.
22 homers. Who doesn't love 22 homers? Don't look at any other stat.
I don't know. You can't keep the mayor down though. Can't
Stay
keep
in
the mayor
Chicago
down.
though.
Yeah, spot
doesn't have to
duty.
move.
That's true.
No thanks. Pass. Here's idea. So first of all, it looks like the outfield thing is Conforto, Carlson, McCormick.
Yes, and maybe a little KA, but
maybe a little KA.
Maybe
we
a little
hope.
KA.
We hope.
We'll see.
It was interesting. I don't know if the reporters were basing this off of the Jonathan Long elbow sprain in the, I believe the second Cactus League game. Was that against the Rangers?
Collision.
6th ranked prospect. You know, he goes for a bad throw at first and the runner hits him. It's never looks good when that happens. We don't have more information on that yet, but he was really good at AAA. I don't know that he needs to prove anything else at AAA. And you could look at that and say, well, why not? If he's healthy, give him that shot to start the season and see where he can go with it. Slash line 305, 404, 479 last year at Iowa with 20 home runs and 91 RBI. That sounds like a guy that you could put there if the elbow's okay. But now it looks like his spring has been at least delayed. I mentioned B.J. Murray's playing there today in the Cactus League game. But 2 days ago, the reporters sat with Craig Counsell and Bruce Levine, and some of the reporters started poking around about first base. I don't know if they just went on that long information or if they knew that Austin was headed for surgery or was a possibility. It's possible it was both. And so they started, hey, is there anybody, first of all, they were asked, Mo Baller's going to get, yeah, he's going to get some chances at first. He is. But it's spring training, you know? And then Bruce Levine asked, is there anybody else you would think about getting some opportunities at first base? You know? And Counsell said, well, you got a name? He wanted Bruce to, like, he didn't want to just give up information. He's like, got a name? And he's like, well, like Matt Shaw. And he's like, oh, okay, that's where you're going. No, right now there are no plans for Matt Shaw to learn first base. Okay. But then he did offer up, if somebody else were to get a few opportunities, he's like, but this is us talking about the backup plan to the backup plan. You don't spend a lot of time on it. You just kind of cover those bases, but you want to see if in an emergency somebody could play that during a game when somebody's hurt. And who were the two names?
Can I take a guess? Because I don't know this quote. I'll take a guess. I think one of the players that they named was Ian Happ.
Was not.
Interesting. Who'd they name?
He said the two other catchers. He said Amaya and Kelly.
Amaya. Okay. Interesting.
Right? Like you could have them both in the game at the same time.
And this is like
if
the backup
Amaya's
of the
healthy,
backup.
I want him in the game a lot.
Yeah.
So look, could he play serviceable first base? I don't know.
My intention, and I'm trusting Craig Counsell's quotes over the winter, that, what were we banging the table on a lot second half of last year was, why are you sitting Michael Busch down against lefties? Well, he didn't have a lot of production, but I think he's the type of player that deserves and has earned the right to work through some of those issues and try and become a league average hitter against left-handers because I want him in the lineup every day. So if Craig Counsell is going to afford him that opportunity more this year, these are spot starts, man.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, is it's like, could Miguel Amaya do it twice a month? Can he give you 18 innings a month? I think that's hopefully, all things considered, what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that's an interesting name.
Yeah, I mean, either guy would be interesting. We'll see how much they both play. Again, I would not be surprised if there's still a name to be added to the mix.
Craig Brindle says Rizzo coming out of retirement.
No. Listen, they're trying to get Mo Baller into this lineup. They want to give him a shot. And backup catcher is going to be a spot. DH is going to be a spot. But if the kid can really hit, you start putting him over at first base a la Christopher Morel and see if some guys can do it.
Yes.
Right? Like you see what's out there. So it's an interesting spot. The Cubs already have been put in a spot where you say, what's that backup plan? And man, you hope Michael Busch gets through spring training without any issues, because then things get even crazier. I don't disagree with you. I believe Ian Happ could be over at first. I would let Happ take some reps over there at spring training.
He can flip over.
Why not?
He can hit right-handed. He's played in the infield on that side of the field before at second base. I understand different positions.
You have enough
angles.
outfielders.
I just think he's a baseball player. I don't mean to be like broad about it, but I think that he could figure it out, and I think he could, do it there. If not Rizzo, why not Dan Vogelbach?
Isn't he the Brewers hitting coach now?
So the idea,
Isn't he with the Brewers?
Chad Schultz is also like a guy like Rowdy Tellez is out there. If you're looking for some lottery tickets here, but these are left-handed guys.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring a guy in, someone like that, I'd prefer to be right-handed, because at the very least you're going to say to yourself, he would play in the matchup when there's a lefty on the mound. There's no reason Michael Busch should ever be on the bench outside of him not being 100%, in my opinion, regardless of matchup. And if there is that case, it would have to be versus a left-handed pitcher.
Can you or anybody in the chat think of a specialist, for lack of a better term? A guy who can play first base and flash the leather, a defensive replacement late in the game where you say, this guy is great at first base, but he can't hit a lick anymore, right?
Yeah.
The sort of the opposite of what Turner was like. Oh, most of these guys are usually, well, they might be able to hit, but we know they're not great at D. Is there a defensive specialist available around in the game, just like you find somebody who can just run, or just like you find the outfielder who can go get it in the end of the innings? Somebody who's great at defense, whether it's AAA level, whether it's a former major leaguer that's sitting out there, somebody that's good at flashing the glove and would at least keep them good defensively for a game, but you're going to get nothing offensively.
So per Fielding Bible last year, number 2 in defensive runs saved at first base, Carlos Santana.
Okay, that's the guy. I mean, I thought he signed with somebody, though. I thought he signed in the offseason.
He might have. I brought his name up because he was in-house last year, which also was maybe a reason why, outside of the relationship with Craig Counsell, that they gave him another shot.
Godfathers must have missed when I said that. I joked already, Trey Mancini, but he's with the Angels, so
Yeah, above average guys. Reese Hoskins, who just signed with the Guardians. Justin Turner was above average last year.
Rivas. Is Rivas still out there?
I'm scrolling and I'm looking.
He was on the Pirates briefly. I don't think he's around anymore.
Yeah, I just think the Cubs are going to play it out for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a knee-jerk reaction and figure something out, but I do think with Tyler Austin being out for months, it will be a consideration that they'll have to pay attention to, right? I don't think they're going to freak out the way the chat is freaking out about Jameson Taillon giving up another couple runs in the first inning of his spring start. Easy, guys.
Yeah.
Easy does it.
Easy,
everything's going to be
fella.
fine. He's just working on stuff. I trust Jameson Taillon.
Dominic Fortini in the chat says, didn't Rizzo tell a story at convention about Happ being at first base? Happ could do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't this all depend on how long you'd be without Michael Busch? It's just a day or two, no major issues.
He did. He told a story about how it was like a getaway day, and they were playing in New York against the Mets, and they were all working out, and Ian Happ's in the corner, and John Lester comes in and starts screaming F-bombs on the day that he pitches, the way that John Lester would, about like, I got Ian bleeping Happ at first base, and Ian Happ's in the corner working out and not knowing that Ian Happ's in the room at the same time. And him and Rizzo had a really good laugh about that. I think Happ could do it in a pinch. I really do. And I don't think it would take a lot of reps for him to wrap his head around it.
There's got to be somebody else out there. There's got to be somebody on some team's roster. And I don't think we call the White Sox. All right. So anyways, 215 in the Mexican League for Rivas, but man, he can flash the leather, huh? I believe
dandy glove man.
I believe Rivas was on a team with Kenny Powers, who was the closer for that team.
Remember Tom Selleck and
was it right?
Mr. 3000? Yeah, Mr. Baseball.
So maybe not Rivas. It might not be the way they go, and I don't think it's going to be Mancini. Please. All right. Coming up on the show, what we're going to do is we've got some clips from PCA in an interview we did on a podcast. We're going to play some. We got a quote from Shota we want to talk about that's important. And then we're going to dig into the Cubs lineup, and just how good is it? Are we overrating it? How's it compared to the rest of the league? We'll find out next on the CHGO Cubs podcast.
Hey, Cubs fans. I just want to talk to all the men for just a second here. In 2026, are you feeling a little down? Are you feeling like you got a little bit low energy? Well, it couldn't be just the winter or that seasonal whatever that's going on. It could be the case of low testosterone. And if you don't have the same motivation and drive every day, or if the scale's going up and down a little bit, it could be, yes, that low testosterone. And whether it's peak performance or becoming a better father, better husband, better man, better podcaster, better dog father, Game Day Men's Health. They want to support every man's health journey through personalized care that's going to be tailored to your goals. Let's talk about Josh for a second.
Wow.
Josh lost over 100 pounds.
He's an
That's
Adonis.
right.
He's an Adonis.
He used Game Day Men's Health testosterone replacement therapy, and now he is ready for the beach and the summer, and that's the deal. It's a very quick and easy process, and you'll be in and out in an hour. They have personal care and family local-owned clinics that are tailored just for you with an extremely high success rate, so feel better with more energy with testosterone, vitamin supplements, weight loss, whatever it is. Use the QR code and go to GameDayCHGO.com today to find the locations that are closest to you.
New vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. And this is your chance to score a great deal at the Auto Show sales event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Right now, 0% financing for 72 months on new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 with a friendly team of brand experts. The team at Ray CDJR is there to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. Plus, since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay and get the vehicle you want. Ray's price promise: you can shop confidently. There's no add-ons or no hidden fees, and the price you see is the price you pay. Go check out our partner today. One of the Chicago area's largest inventories, the team at Ray CDGR, is one we recommend. Don't miss out on the Auto Show sales event for huge savings on new models. More information, Ray CDJR today on Route 12 or online, raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Welcome back to the CHGO Cubs podcast. If you only knew what we were talking about.
Wild Thought Wednesday, baby.
It was a Wild Thought Wednesday. We can bring it up if you want. PCA was on a podcast. What was this? The Old Man and Me?
Yeah, the Old Man and You.
Old Man and the Goat? Oh, that's a restaurant. Girl and the Goat. Never mind. So PCA was on this podcast, and he was just hanging out. And by the way, the PCA stuff we put out was at Twitter, Sarah, where I'm talking about he's everything the Brewers fans think he's not. He's thoughtful. He's smart. He's a hard worker.
Yeah, it's out on our Twitter page. Yeah. It'll be out on YouTube tomorrow.
Teammates love him. Yeah. And everybody else in the league just thinks he's this complete buffoon. A child, right?
Well, they don't know ball.
They don't know ball. That's right.
Ooh, go Cubs.
And they haven't paid attention. So, first of all, that got great responses because,
because the world is
Brewers
awesome.
Fans have nothing else to do because
Society
the Packers are no good and the Bears are better than the Packers now. And Giannis doesn't want to be in Milwaukee. So what's left? Walleye season starts in March. That's good.
Yeah, and somehow our franchise quarterback maybe already eclipsed their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I digress.
The stars have aligned. PCA was asked, they started talking about being traded, which we always want to talk about. Oh, would you trade this guy for this guy? We did it yesterday. We said, who would be the guy? If you had to trade PCA, who would you be willing? And we came up with Bobby Witt Jr. For guys currently 25 and under. And then if you want to talk about anybody, Ohtani, Judge, there's a handful of players. But there aren't too many of the young players in baseball where you'd say, yeah, I think I'd definitely do it. Maybe we're biased. PCA was talked about, again, he was the Javi Baez trade. He was asked about being traded from the Mets to the Cubs. I thought this was funny.
I have a bunch of Met fan friends, and when it happened, they were pissed.
You told me this when we were at the game.
They were pissed, dude. It was like, and I didn't know what was what because I just wasn't following it that closely. And the second it happened, it was like, I don't even want to bring it up now because it hasn't gotten any better for them. They were not happy.
Who's supposed to know that I was going to do anything, though? Like, I played 6 professional games. Like, big risk that the Cubs took. I I would never blame the Mets at all for making that trade. Like, that was a good roster they had, and Lindor wanted to play with Baez. That made their middle infield really good, but here we are now. Like, I had no clue.
That's just
Yeah, Lindor and Javi Baez, of course, like childhood friends, and they went for it. It didn't work out, and this is one of those where you see an organization went for it. It didn't pay off like it did for the Cubs a couple times, and wow, it's good for us. We finally got one that worked. We got PCA. But I think it's interesting that he doesn't blame the Mets for – he doesn't have ill feelings because the Mets traded him. He was hurt and he hadn't played a lot, and they put the wrong guy in the deal. Yeah,
and to add like a little bit more, to color more inside the lines of what he was talking about, like contextually, I found it to be really fascinating. And forgive me, I'm going to paraphrase some of the stuff that he was talking about, but you know how Jed last year was like, he even was surprised about some of the things that PCA was doing on the field. And Pete Crow-Armstrong, now at 24 years old, he frankly feels the same way. And we always forget a little bit about, before a guy gets on our team, what is his story and where did he come from? And from PCA's perspective, he was talked a lot about, one, in 2020, wasn't able to play a lot of baseball, got that shoulder injury, which really affected him, which is why he had only played in 6 games at the time of that trade when it happened in 2021. And he had said himself, before 2020, he said that he had hit 6 or 7 home runs in a game throughout his whole life. That's how skinny he was. That's how fast he was. He said he was a fast, slap it the other way kind of hitter, get on base, cause some chaos. And from 2020 to 2021, rehabbing his shoulder, no one was able really to see how he was able to put on weight.
Yeah.
And he was actually able to grow into his body and get some muscle.
Huel, probably.
Most likely, most definitely.
Probably a lot of Huel.
In 2021 to 2022, he starts playing the game a little bit more. He gets a little bit more speed. Obviously, he gets into all these different kinds of exercises. And when he starts squaring it up a little bit, he says, wow, maybe I do have this inside of me. So him hitting 30 bombs last year almost might have been just as much of a surprise to PCA as it was to Jed Hoyer, as it was to the Mets, as it was to Cubs fans. So who knows what it's going to unlock heading into this year. That's why I've always been like, if he hits 20 bombs this year, I'm not going to freak out. It's not going to be a power outage. And he said that as much like yesterday about being like, hey, man, it's cool that you traded me because I hadn't played either. I would have maybe done the same thing for Javi Baez.
But he also said every time he came to the plate at Wrigley Field and people started chanting PCA in big moments and he'd been 0 for 4, he's like, man, I felt the pressure. Like, I got to do something. I got to do something. And he's going to go into a different headspace this year. So partially I blame you and Sarah and the Friday 120 Club for chanting that. Yeah. Anytime you were there, you put all the pressure on him. His second half was your fault, Sarah.
Shout out Friday 120.
We put the rally cake in front of you. I get it. It's on us.
By the way, I've seen a new Friday 120 Club T-shirt design being floated around. We got a little sneak peek at it today.
Pretty cool.
So just know that could be coming to the merch store fairly soon. He also talked about playoff Game 4 against the Brewers. Now, this is a kid who grew up in Hollywood. He's a sports fan. By the way, he fell in love with the Bears, not just Caleb Williams. He says the first time he's ever fallen in love with a professional sports team that he wasn't playing on. Like, he was in on the Bears. And that's part of how he's fallen in love with our city. Like, he sees what sports mean in the city of Chicago. It's our slogan, sports over everything. It's Cubs over everything. It's Bears over everything. And so he talked about Game 4. I thought this was cool too, right?
I think I felt the weight of the moment for sure. Wrigley kind of brought that out of me too, just because that place was on fire. It was special. Like game 4 of the NLDS against Milwaukee. Like, we always say, like, from pitch 1, the place, like, I'm telling you, from hour before the game, it was like a way different buzz than I felt in that place ever. So, I don't know how to put this, actually. Like, that's an interesting question because, like, every play should matter all the time, but like you definitely feel it a little more in the playoffs. And we were all prepped on that. Like we had so many dudes who had experience in the playoffs and in October, but you're not really prepared till you actually do it yourself. And I mean, y'all saw it. Like it was tough for me, but I definitely feel better prepared for this year. That's for sure.
Even in 2015, when the young Cubs were coming up, I think in any sport, there's something to good playoff experience for young players, even when it's not going well. It's still good to have that experience in your back pocket and say, okay, I know it can be that bad, but I've been through it. And now I know this much and I can do this, and there's different ways to cope for it. You can always tell yourself you're prepared, but you're never prepared until you go through something once.
It's incredible what October baseball can do to a player and a team. It's even more incredible what October baseball, when you have a little taste of success that the Cubs had winning one round, can also do, right? Like, and what I love about Pete Crow-Armstrong just there is one, sincerity and accountability, right? Like he was like, look, then y'all saw it. You know, I felt the moment and I didn't really step up. I feel like I'm going to be more prepared this time. But him also like sitting and understanding how important it was, because we knew how important it was. Like that series, when he says that Wrigley was on fire, I'm not in disagreement with him, right? And now that all of that has transpired, the way that it's permeated through not just players like Pete Crow-Armstrong getting excited for this year, and we're going to hear a quote from Shota in just a little bit also that feels the same way.
Yeah.
But now you got the owner, Tom Ricketts, saying, we want to get back to winning World Series, plural. Right? Like there's just the whole experience of us eating rally cake and watching the Padres and Brewers.
Felt different to us too.
And frankly, it's seismic might be a little aggressive, but there's been a real shift of mentality throughout the whole organization. And that is the reason why Alex Bregman is now here. That is why the owner is talking a certain way. That's why Craig Counsell, I think, has been more transparent than he has been in the entire time that he's put on a Cubs uniform. There's just a different mentality right now, and a lot of that has to do with that success. And frankly, pat yourself on the back, Cubs fans. It has a little bit to do with you too as well. Like you showing up and being that impassioned, making that place on fire for those players. It is not going lost on them.
No,
it's not being forgotten.
They talked about it after the games.
Yeah.
About what Wrigley was like against the Padres and the Brewers. And
if you're a Dodgers fan, right, we just show up and we party. And it's a Bennigan's and we're all yuppies and stuff like that. All right, well, listen to those quotes right there from those players.
I mean, I understand it just because I don't, and this isn't a knock to any fan, but like I don't think that just makes me feel like they don't get it. Like from a player standpoint, like talking about playoffs, like where you want to be in those kind of moments. Like you want to take down the best team. It'd be really fun to be on that team as well, play with those guys. But like, man, if you got the money, spend it, go get the best guys. I think it's better for the game. Like we saw the World Series. The Blue Jays aren't nearly the same kind of roster, I don't think, as the Dodgers were. Their bullpen was incredible. Their Trey Savage went and shocked the world, and it was really cool. But like, you're talking the best like 1 through 9 ever almost, and it went 7 games. Like baseball is baseball. It'll always be baseball.
They should have won. It was 7 games, and they had
totally
10 different chances they could have won.
They could have ended in 6, and it would have been the Blue Jays, not the Dodgers. Like I love it personally. Like go spend the money. I think it incentivizes other teams to do the same. Like we got big market teams for a reason. Like a city like LA, like it's supposed to be this flashy, big, popular thing. New York, same way. And you see what the Mets have done.
Yeah.
You see what the Yankees are doing right now. Like even us, like we're going and signing guys like Bregman. Yeah. We're going and signing the guys that we should be signing. So I actually like it.
And I would like it if they gave Pete Crow-Armstrong an extension, possibly halfway through this season or at the end of this season. I don't think it's coming in Cactus League action. But I like everything the kid says. I really do. And I'm the furthest from his age. Like I could be his father. I'm old enough. But there's something about his confidence and his calm, honesty, and intelligence, right? Like he's not blowing smoke. He's being as open as you can ask an athlete to be until they get burned doing it. And I don't think he's going to say, like, he's not going to get burned about the Dodgers fans, Cubs fans thing. He's not. So what?
No, the nuance to that is he acknowledges that everyone knows that the Dodgers are the most talented team,
right?
The best team, the World Series champions. And I think the nuance is he's not running away from that, and he wants to beat the best.
Yeah.
He wants to beat the best. That's the kind of athlete that you want. That's the attitude that you want. And if that means he's going to talk a little mess along the way, because frankly, also, he's from Sherman Oaks, California.
Yeah.
So I also lived there for over 10 years. So being around it, you're in Dodgers Nation all the time. He has a little bit of some insight in terms of what the fans are like, what being a Dodgers fan. He knows the environment. But the fact that he can acknowledge that they're the best team and I want to beat the best, yeah, he's going to talk a little mess. It's not him talking out of his butt, I think, the way some people want to phrase it or think about it.
All right. You know who else wants to win and prove himself this year? Like, the end of last season left some people with a bad taste in their mouth. PCA is one.
Yes.
Shota is obviously another. It didn't go well at the end, but he's bulked up a little bit. The injury is back, and he is carrying with him the sort of the pressure, I guess, of last year not going well. And I think he really took it to heart in the offseason. He said on who was this to? Was this just to reporters? I don't even know.
So I can look it up. This was actually from a Japanese publication.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
through translation, he said, I want the moment I become world champion to be the first thing I remember when I retire. It's not just my dream. My family in Japan shares it, and I carry their hope with me. That's why I want to make it come true.
Dude,
that's another deep thought. It's not just some guy coming up to the ballpark saying, yeah, dude, if we win, we win.
Just get in the
if
dance.
We don't.
See what happens.
This is becoming personal, and that's the type of player that the Cubs have been seeking in this rebuild. And frankly, when PCA talked about the crowd, that's because it's been a long time coming. It was long overdue that they got to act like that again.
And these quotes, they're becoming habitual, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not the only person that's throwing the C word around, and that is championship.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Don't do it. Not on Wild Thought Wednesday, Luke.
Like, whoa, this is a family show.
No. But like, this is a mentality.
Cupcake.
This is a mentality. This is what they're talking about. They saw how close they got. They feel like it's within their reach this season. They feel like that if they can at least get to the Final Four, the championship series, that they think that they have what it takes to get there. Now, granted, still February, right? Long way to go. Long way to go. But those two quotes, like that quote and what we've been playing from PCA, is really interesting because, Luke, my question for you would be, just let's isolate it to the playoffs with the Padres and the Brewers. Do you think PCA and Shota are the two players that maybe have the most to prove from that series? Are those maybe the two players that disappointed you the most outside of Kyle Tucker, who's no longer on the team?
Guys that are still on the team.
Yeah, guys that are still on the team. Because even Ian Happ had a terrible playoffs, right? But you'll never take away that 3-run laser tank he hit off Freddie Peralta that frankly got us back into the series in the first place.
The answer is yes. I mean, the easy one is Shota.
Yes.
No question. This is a guy that when Steele was down was the ace of your staff, and you couldn't even pitch him in the biggest game that you've had in a long time. You couldn't even pitch him. And PCA is probably the other one. Like Shaw wasn't good, but Shaw was just coming off the struggle. PCA is the one that was MVP level. We're printing MVP t-shirt.
We needed him more than Matt Shaw, right? You know what I mean? We needed what he had been bringing to the team all year more than Matt Shaw.
Had a really good series against the Padres to the point where
maybe the MVP.
Their manager said, he beat us.
Yeah.
He beat us. Almost single-handedly, he beat us.
Seiya had a great series. Nico Horner was solid. Carson Kelly hits the bomb.
You know who the third name is that's got, I don't know that a lot to prove, but has plenty of motivation. They should all have motivation after getting one win away from the NLCS. Justin Steele's got that fire burning too.
That's a good one.
That rehab, like, here's a guy who's been here fighting to get in a postseason game and be the guy on the mound, and the injury takes his whole season away. Then he's got to go through painful rehab where he can just sit there and painfully watch his guys play, but especially need him out there in Game 5. That had to be mind-blowingly hard against the Brewers.
Pulled away from you, too. Cade Horton.
Cade Horton's another one, yeah.
Cade Horton, we clinched the division, but he goes out there for the next start, gets pulled. Everyone starts freaking out. What's going on? Imaging later on the doorstep of being hopefully one of the premier pitchers or faces of that playoff series under the spotlight, and his game is as locked in as it's probably been in his whole life. I don't know. The College World Series, he was pretty incredible, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty damn close. Gets to that point, unable to perform due to a fractured rib. Tries to throw, enough discomfort that would change his mechanics. They shut him down. So there's a lot of guys that not only got a taste of it, but had some shortcomings and some, man, if I can get back in the moment, how would I do this differently? How would I be ready for this moment? And that's the type of stuff that I think PCA and Shota are articulating here in these clips.
Well, like Steele and Happ are the guys that on the team that I'm just thinking of offhand that have been there through the absolute lows of the rebuild. Right?
Yeah.
They've been in the organization to see how great it can be, but they've never really been in it to see and play in it when they're playing for a World Series, right? Like Happ, but not Steele. Not Steele. He was at the core of the bad team trying to find guys that could work their way up. And he finally had an opportunity on a winning team. And unfortunately for him, he's hurt. So I think he doesn't necessarily have a lot to prove, but he's got plenty of motivation.
Yeah, and Corey Seacrest in the chat. Corey, man, always love seeing you in the chat, dude. You have great comments with that same attitude. What's preventing the Cubs from being, quote, unquote, that team, or quote, unquote, the best team?
Great TV deal.
Maybe broadcasting the spring training games. Not much, man. I mean, not to be broad about it, it's still only February, but the only thing preventing them from being the best team is probably time and the opportunity to just go out there and take it. You know what I mean? The Dodgers are going to be more talented, right? It is always going to be a really, really difficult matchup. And I know we always bring up the Dodgers, but man, the Phillies are going to be tough. The Mets might have something to say about it. The Braves too as well. But the Cubs can line up with them and they can win on any given day. It's going to be about the elapsing of time to get you to October, taking care of business, and just meeting the opportunity, meeting the moment, as PCA says.
So you mentioned a couple teams. And I was just flipping through the old Twitter, and I looked at ESPN released their lineup rankings, okay, for teams this year. We'll go top 10.
ESPN lineups.
Who has the best, according to them, who has the best lineup in baseball?
Major League Baseball across.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been name checking them all day. Let's do it.
It's the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are number one. Okay.
They go through a lot of stuff. They give a different a letter grade for a lot of things. And then they go lineup wins. Lineup wins is the number of wins the team would have if everything in the game was equal except for the lineup. So basically, the pitching was absolutely identical.
Yeah.
So it strictly comes down to the lineup.
Interesting.
Okay? And the managing is exactly the same. All of it's the same. They gave the Dodgers 89.7 wins just based on their lineup. Okay?
Nice.
They said their lineup has 7 stars and 1 potential hole. Okay? Who's number 2 at 87.6?
So I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, and I think this might be one that no one's considering. I'm going to guess the Mariners.
No.
I'm going to guess the Blue Jays.
It is 2 National League teams at number 2 and number 3.
I guarantee you they have the Mets high up.
They do.
So I will go with the Phillies at number 2.
It is the Braves at number 2.
Really?
At 87.6.
Because Olsen, Riley, and Acuna back in the fold.
I mean, they've got
Michael Harris.
yes,
Maybe Ozzie Albies is whatever, and they have obviously the Rookie of the Year at catcher.
I think a lot of people who watched the playoffs last year forget that it was just a bad season for the Braves.
Yeah, the season from hell.
But I think that's a team that could bounce back pretty nicely this season. At number 3, they have the Mets at 86.2.
I knew, because of course, dude. Again, I said it yesterday. They were a baseball card lineup. You know what I mean? Like you look at their lineup
Soto,
and you go,
Bichette, Polanco, Simeon, Beatty, Alvarez, Luis Robert, and Carson. Okay, so they went hitting B, patience C+, power B+, base running B, durability B-, depth B-.
Yes.
6 stars, 1 hole. So I don't know what they're counting the other guys. They certainly don't.
So they're
have
counting
players
Robert.
They're
counting Robert, Polanco, and Simeon as a star. Does that feel right? Did they not? If they don't name them, that's okay.
So there's one they're leaving off there that I guess they're just qualifying as nothing. At number 4, now we go American League and the Mariners that you talked about.
Yeah, they got a good lineup, man, and added Brendan Donovan, Naylor, Raleigh, J-Rod,
Rosarena.
Dude, it's a good lineup, man. It's a good lineup.
So I don't disagree with that. And then, PCA talked about the Blue Jays not being as stacked as the Dodgers, but they were right there with them thanks to pitching as well. But they have the Blue Jays at 84.1 wins just based on the lineup. Now, 4 stars, 3 holes. Springer, Barger, Guerrero, Kirk, Varsho, like Clement down at 8. So they're looking at some other guys and saying, okay, maybe there's some. Now, who's number 6? The 6th best lineup in Major League Baseball.
I would imagine now, because it's ESPN, they're either leaning Yankees or Phillies. Be my guess.
This one I didn't see coming at all.
Chicago Cubs?
It is not the Cubs. This one I didn't see coming in. I can't believe they're ahead of the Cubs, to be honest with you.
Is it the Brewers?
The Oakland A's at 84-1.
Okay.
It's all the young guys.
Yeah,
it's Kurtz, Langoliers. It's Soderstrom, Rooker. Now they got Jeff McNeil. They've got Jacob Wilson. They got some names.
Okay.
So at number 7, your Chicago Cubs, 83.8%. So 1, 2, 3, fourth best lineup in the National League.
Okay.
Now here's what they said about the Cubs: hitting C, patience C. That's a little PCA probably there. Maybe that C was for PCA on the patience.
A little dash of PCA.
Power C+, base running C+. Now I know we had that. We just had the play at the start of spring training that was a base running blunder. I would put the Cubs way above a C+ at base running.
I thought they were vastly improved last year. I liked what I saw.
Here's where ESPN likes them: durability, A, depth, A-. The two go hand in hand. They think they've got a pretty durable team, and they've got the depth to handle injuries.
Day in and day out.
Stars 5, holes 2. Where are they seeing the holes in this lineup?
Catcher, and I don't know. Catcher and DH?
Well, it's Busch, Bregman, Happ, Suzuki, Armstrong, Horner, Ballesteros, Swanson, Kelly. I think they're probably saying Mo Baller and Kelly.
Yeah, I think so too.
If they had to guess with the holes. I don't think they're saying Dansby Swanson and 20 home runs, even though he's very streaky. And I don't think anybody in their right mind is saying Ian Happ, even though it's a roller coaster ride. He always ends up with the same stats.
Yeah, Swanson's like Gallen, right? Like he's not great, but he's out there every day. So he gets brownie points for that.
It says the Cubs, it seems, are built to deploy a stable lineup with plenty of options if the injury bug bites. All right, we got like 1 minute left. Can you figure out the 3 teams below the Cubs? 2 are in the National League, 1 is in the American League.
Well, it's got to be the Phillies, right? How many times can I say the Phillies until they
Yankees number 8.
Yes, of course.
Phillies number 9. I'm surprised they weren't higher.
And another National League team.
Yep.
San Diego. I was going to say they still like the Padres.
They still like the Padres.
Yeah.
But they believe the Cubs are possibly right there. So we'll see. It all means nothing.
That's across baseball. I take that. That's top 25% of baseball. I take that all day long.
I would too. Hey, Corey and Brendan have the show coming up tomorrow on Thursday with Cubs related. Then we have shows Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then we're going to Arizona, baby. Then there's going to be a halt. We're going there from Thursday to Sunday. The spring training trip, you can join us.
There will still be a Cubs-related show that Thursday.
There will still be a Cubs-related show.
But obviously...
But we will be at the games.
Yeah, we'll be at the games. Yeah.
Amen to that. In the sunshine. Let me put on my Shady Rays just to prepare myself for this.
We're going to fix JMO. That is our mission.
Don't worry about JMO.
We're going to fix it.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Some say the #1 Cubs podcast in the universe. And wait till we get sunshine, baby. Until next time, fly the W.